Good evening. My name is Layla Malloy and I'm Head of Sixth Form here at Open Academy. We are delighted that you could join us today for our first ever virtual Open Evening event. And we hope that over the next few slides and PowerPoints and videos, we're able to answer some of those pressing questions that you might have, and we can help you to make an informed decision about where to go after Year 11 and what your best choices are. So this is our building. I'm sure many of you have passed it if you're not here already. We are this state-of-the-art modern round wooden building, and the best thing about it is that you can never ever get lost. You can just go round and round and you will never get lost. So it's based on 3 floors. The bottom floor houses our canteen, our atrium, and we have science and technology in the bottom floor, and sixth form tend to be based mostly on the top floor. They have subjects throughout all 3 floors, of course, but the sixth form area and the tutor rooms are based on the top floor. So this is our 4G pitch. This is primarily used by our Football Academy boys. It's a all-weather pitch, so they can use it regardless of the weather because it's not going to get muddy, of course. This pitch is also used by lower school for PE. Primarily it's used by our Football Academy boys because they do train outside there on a daily basis. We also use the pitch to host matches. So the Football Academy boys tend to have a match every week on a Wednesday. It's slightly changed due to COVID restrictions, but outside of COVID years, they would have a match every single Wednesday, so either home or away. So we use it to host matches quite often as well. So this is us, the sixth form staff. You may have seen a video from Mr. Ford. If not, go and check it out. He is our school principal, and Mr. Ward oversees sixth form. He's our vice principal. That is me, obviously, and Mrs. Davies, she is the assistant head of sixth form, so she is always in her office if I'm not around, if you have any queries to do with your day or to sixth form as well. Obviously, we need to address COVID and what school is like during COVID. We have an extensive risk assessment, and we're actually really proud of the way that both our students have conducted themselves coming back this year, and also how the staff have managed to deal with everything as well. We've obviously put some changes in place. The first one is as students enter the building and enter every single classroom, there are hand sanitizers everywhere and they must sanitize their hands. We have a one-way system around the whole building, so students should not be passing each other face on at any point. We have stairwells that are certain stairs to go up and certain stairs that you come down, so again, no students are meeting face to face. You will see in a little while, I'll show you our timetable. We have split breaks and lunches for all bubbles, so that again, they are never meeting as well, and it does run like clockwork. So as one bubble is leaving the canteen, for example, the cleaners are in there cleaning everything before the next bubble arrives 2 to 3 minutes later. So it is running really, really well, which also helps with our track and trace. So by keeping these bubbles completely separate, if we were to have an incident or a case in school, then we're able to track and trace really, really easily. So this is our timetable day. They will have 5 periods. So sixth form will have 5 periods, the same as lower school. On a Tuesday and Thursday, they will have 6 periods. So the 6 periods are not for all pupils. They are our hubs. We run them twice a week. The lower schools run them every single day, I think, for each year group. So twice a week, some students may be put into the hub, and what that means is that they may have been asked by their teacher to enter the hub because they have fallen behind on a piece of work. They may need some extra support. They may not understand a particular unit or a topic. So in the hub, Mrs. Davies, Assistant Head of Sixth Form, will be running the hubs. The teachers will set work via Teams, and the students get an opportunity to have a bit of extra support throughout their week so that they can get their work to the standard that they should. Now, if a student is in the hub, that does not mean that they're going to be in the hub permanently. Often they are in there just for a week at a time, and once they've caught up on the work, then they're able to be removed and taken out of the hub again. The periods run differently this year, the timings run differently, and I will show you that timetable next. but students will have 5 periods on their timetable, even if every single one is not taken up by a lesson. So this colourful page is our timetable. I know at first glance it might look a bit crazy, but you just need to spend a little bit of time and dissect it, and actually it will make sense, perfect sense. We've had to split it all up like this again to make sure that the bubbles are not mixing, and it does run really, really well and really smoothly when everybody gets used to it. So you will see that sixth form are in bubble 1. They are in a bubble along with year 7. Year 12, 13 and 7 are all in a bubble together. And as you can see from the timetable, from the lighter green minty colours, all the breaks and lunches are separate for the 3 bubbles so that, again, they're not mixing at any point. We have had to, for some bubbles, and bubble 1, sixth form included in that, split a lesson. So period 2 is split into 2 halves. You have the start of period 2, then they go on to break, and then they come back for the second half of period 2. All of the day starts at 8:40 and it runs up until 3 p.m. unless you're in the hub, which means that you'll be in school for an extra hour up until 4 o'clock. Everybody is expected to arrive between 8:35 and 8:40, and it's really important that they arrive by that time and they're not late, again, to make sure that we are letting the bubbles in and they're not arriving at the same time. All of the bubbles are entering into school from different doors as well, again, making sure that they are not mixing at any point. So what subjects do you need to take when you come here for sixth form? We recommend the following. We recommend that in year 1 and year 12, you take 3, or some people like to take 4 subjects. By the time you get to year 13, we definitely recommend that you are dropping one of those subjects, so you take it as an AS level and you are doing a maximum of 3 subjects. There's various reasons for this. In the past, we've noticed that pupils that take more than 3 subjects tend to struggle a little bit, especially by the time they get to A2 level to year 13, because the amount of work and the type of work you have to do really increases quite a lot. So it can be quite overwhelming. So we like students to take between 3 and 4 in the first year, and definitely try and stick to 3 in the second year. We also have BTECs, we have extended sports diploma, we have the football academy. Now, some pupils for the football academy, they like to take the football academy course, the sports course, and they also take an extra A level alongside that. So we have a couple of boys that are doing that this year, and that does tend to work really, really well. The only thing that might be a slight clash is that at times they're going to have their A level subject running on their timetable when the rest of their teammates might be training, but that's quite rare. That doesn't happen too often, and they've been able to manage it really, really well. So there is that option of taking an A level alongside the sports course if you want to do that. There's also the option of taking A level subjects alongside BTEC subjects as well. I'm going to show you a list of what we're currently running on the next slide. So I'm just going to talk to you briefly before I move on to the subjects about what you actually need in order to be able to come here for sixth form. So students need to have at least 5 GCSE grades between 9 to 4, and we like those to include English and Maths. We do offer an English and Maths retake if you have not managed to get that 4 or above grade for either of those subjects. So we have a couple of students that are doing that at the moment. You'll be entered on your timetable for a GCSE English or Maths retake class. That does not mean that you sit with the current year 11s. It's a separate class with year 12 and 13 that are retaking, and then you'll be entered in for the exam. We like to try and enter you in for November exams, so next month, so that we can get it out of the way really. But if you did not do very well in your November exam, there is always the option to do it in the summer as well. We like students that are taking any of the sciences, so biology, chemistry or physics, to gain a 6 at GCSE, mainly because these subjects can be quite theory heavy, and we feel that from the past, students that have gained at least a 6 tend to do a lot better in these subjects. For GCSE Maths, we'd like you to have got a 7. For A-level Maths, sorry, we'd like you to have got a 7 at GCSE in order to take the A-level. So the subjects and courses that we offer are very much driven by you guys, by the students. We tend to start asking year 11 early on in the year to tell us what subjects they would like to see at sixth form. If we don't currently run them, and if we have enough numbers, there is a big potential for us to run that course. So if you're watching this right now and you have a look at the course list in a second, on the next slide, I think, and there isn't a subject on there that you were really interested in doing, please get in touch with us. Because if I have enough numbers of a course that want to do it, then we can look into running that from next year. So these are our courses. Have a look through them, and as I said before, please do get in touch if there's something that you would really like to do that isn't on our list at the moment. So our football academy, you will see that there's a tour on that a bit later on as well, and there will be a video from Mr. Richardson, I believe, talking about the sports course. Our football academy is the qualification you get from doing the BTEC sport is the equivalent of 3 A levels. So our boys tend to go down quite a few different paths. So in the past, we've had students that go down the university path, so for physiotherapy or something medical, sports coaching. We also have students very interested in going to America. So I think recently we've had somebody come in to speak to the boys about how they go down that route and what they need to do. We have students from last year that I think one of them is going to Texas. So there is a lot of potential on where you can go from doing this course. The boys will train every single day. As I said before, they will have matches. They tend to have matches once a week. Slightly different this year, of course, but they usually have matches once a week. They do the theory side of the course alongside with the practical sports side as well. So they have their own block, the football boys that they are in, and within that block they have classrooms, they have computers, and obviously the block is situated right next to the pitch, so they are out there as much as possible. So as with the other year groups, attendance and punctuality in sixth form is key, very, very important. We like all students to be in school by 8:40 so that they are attending tutor every single day. Tutor is really important because we are doing all sorts of well-being and getting to know each other and planning your week, especially in year 12. When you get to year 13, we do a lot of UCAS, apprenticeships, CVs, things like that in tutor time. So it is really, really important that you are attending all of these sessions. If you are not going to be in for any reason, if you're unwell, you need to be emailing. So the responsibility is a lot more on you in sixth form as opposed to your parents or guardians. You need to be emailing your teachers and myself, letting us know the reason why you are not in school and asking for that day's work to be sent home to you via email. In sixth form, it's quite different to the lower school in that you have communication with your teachers all the time by email. That's the main way that we all communicate when we're not in class together, of course. So it's a great way of getting in touch with your teachers, asking questions, but making sure that you are not falling behind, unless you are, of course, so ill that you can't do any work. We wouldn't expect miracles. But if you are off sick and you feel that you can get on with some work even once you're a bit better, then please email your teachers and they will always email you the PowerPoints for that day. So dress code. We are not expecting you to come into school in suits, of course not. But the dress code does need to be smart business wear. So we don't want students turning up in cropped tops, in ripped clothes, slogans, gym gear. We like you to come in so that you are comfortable, of course. That is really, really important. But the lower school looks up to sixth form, so we can't have you dressing in a way that is inappropriate. So we do have a dress code policy, which you will all have a copy of when you start sixth form. Okay, so one huge benefit of sixth form as opposed to when you were in year 11 is that you will have sections on your timetable called private study. Private study does not mean it's a free period where you get to just chill out and not do anything. Of course, there are going to be times where you are going to have a chat with your friends, but private study is primarily there for you to be catching up on work. So this can be work in any of your subjects, it's not specific, but we would like you during private study to be in the sixth form areas where we've got computers and we've got quiet areas and you do need to be working. You should never ever be running out of things to do in sixth form. So you should never sit there during private study and not have anything to do. If that does happen, we are doing something wrong. So you need to come and tell me. It's also a great time to spend getting stuff ready for post year 13. So researching courses, researching universities or apprenticeships, starting to get your personal statement together, starting to jot down things for your CV. Teachers are always around during private study times. So if there is a particular subject that you need a little bit of help with, use your private study to go and find that teacher and get them to sit down with you and go over some stuff. Myself and Miss Davies are always around as well, so private study is a great time to come and find us if you've got any issues or worries. During lesson times, the sixth form area does need to be a quiet study area, but our sixth formers have the benefits that for break and lunch times, they don't need to be spending it in the canteen. Of course, you can go downstairs to the canteen and buy yourself some food if that's what you'd like to do. But the sixth form area at break and lunchtime can be used as a social area for students. We've got tables that you can all sit around. We also have a fridge so you can put food in there. We are in the process of getting a kettle, so that's almost on the way. So students have got a nice area with tea and coffee, hot chocolates, biscuits, food. It's obviously the sixth formers' responsibility to keep this area tidy at all times. So that is down to sixth form, and I do keep an eye on that, but have not had any problems as yet. So we do encourage sixth formers to take an active role with some of our younger pupils. Now, this year, again, because of COVID, we have to stick within our bubbles, and luckily that means that we do have a Key Stage 3 class, a Key Stage 3 year that we can bubble up with. So we are bubbled with Year 7. So that means that sixth form can run certain activities with Year 7. So that could be being a mentor, helping them out, teaching them how to behave, regularly meeting with them to ask them about student voice and what things they want to see in their school. You could also be helping out running clubs, homework club, for example, or hubs for Year 7. If there is any particular clubs that you are particularly interested in, or you have a love of a subject and you would like to run an extracurricular club in that, please let me know, because we love that sort of thing and we're always willing to start something new. We also know that our sixth formers have part-time employment, part-time jobs. We are absolutely okay with this, of course. It looks great on your CV and you learn all sorts of skills from that, which is always useful. But we don't want this taking over your study time. Students cannot be leaving school early to start a job. That's absolutely not going to be authorised, I'm afraid. We know that a lot of students are working on Saturdays and evenings. I will say that in the past, our Year 13s especially start to really struggle if their job is kind of taking over their weekends. You need that time to, as well as catching up on work and getting ready for post sixth form, you need that time to be able to rest and recuperate. So whilst we are very happy for our students to have employment, we do encourage you to try and keep it to minimal hours if at all possible. So finally, NCS, National Citizen Service. This is a program that we've been running now for 2 to 3 years, and our students gain so much from this. Again, I know I harp on about this constantly during this presentation, but because of COVID, it's been slightly different this year. In previous years, what usually happens is the first week or two of when students start at sixth form, so Year 12s, you would go away on a residential with NCS. So this is usually somewhere in Norfolk, not too far away, and you spend a week living in lodges with your peers, and you do all sorts of amazing outdoor activities. If you click onto the National Citizen Service website, you'll be able to find out loads more about that. The rest of the time is spent doing a social action project, so doing something to improve your local community. So our students this year, for example, they are putting together some care packages for homeless people that they want to go and pass out to them. Some of the students are doing a staff car wash, which I'm particularly excited about. So we have lots of lovely things, lots of lovely events that they put on. Next year, we don't know if we're going to be running the residential or not, or whether we're just going to be doing things within school. But this is a fantastic program that is recognised by universities, so it looks brilliant on your CV and on your UCAS applications as well. So we've come to the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for sitting through all of that. I really appreciate it. If you do have any questions at all, I'm going to pop my email on the next slide. Please feel free to email me at any point and I will get back to you. Good luck in making your decision. Thank you so much.